Ladies and gentlemen, I am really excited and honored to have this next guest on. There are many people that are experienced and that are champions. There are many people that are great teachers, and then there are some of the people that are absolute legends in our sport, and this is one of them here. This man was a junior champion in all grappling arts, in judo, in sambo, in wrestling. As an adult, everywhere he went, he won gold. He's the top student of Gene LeBell and one of the foremost grappling masters in the entire world. We are talking about none other than Mr. Gokor Chivichyan. Welcome to the show, Gokor.
Thank you, my friend.
My pleasure. It's great to have you. It's great to have you here, man. There's so much to talk about. You have been in combat sports, I think, for about 4 decades. Am I right?
It's almost 51 years.
That's amazing, man. You started, and it says that you were born in Yerevan, Armenia, and then you were training as a child and competing in Soviet Armenia. That must have been a time where there were so many good competitors. How do you feel like you were able to be so successful? Did you have a family history that were grapplers or fighters?
My grandfather's brother was the catch world champion many years ago. But you know, that possibly maybe me, I just born like that. I don't know.
Right.
But I was a very strong kid before I go to train.
Right. That helps. And you were a good athlete. And so when you were competing in these things as a child, did you feel like this was going to be something you would do as an adult, as you did in your 20s and 30s, and even competing in grappling competitions in your 40s and 50s? Or when you were a child, did you feel it was just fun for you to do?
You know, I don't know anything will be my future at that time, but the one things I know, when I went to sign up first wrestling class, that was 1990. That was 1968. I was only 5 years old.
Wow!
And then there's the 40 kids that is trying to sign up. They want to take only 5 of them. The rest of 35 go home. And the teacher was testing everybody and put his legs down. He said, "Anybody pick up my legs? We're going to register him. And if you cannot pick up, then you're going home."
Oh, wow.
I try. Finally, my turn comes up, and I pick up his legs, but I pick up differently. Not only pick up his legs, also I take him down. So he was very impressed. I said, "Well, this kid has talent. I can see it from now." So this is age 5 I started, you know. So that's my beginning days. Are you there? We lost each other. You wanna call back? What happened? Hello.
Take a look. Gokor, can you hear me? Gokor.
Yes.
Okay, good. We had some sort of a quick battery outage there where the battery went out, but I think our backup just kicked in. I was trying to call the producer. He wasn't there. Anyway, let's continue. Sorry for that interruption, my friend.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay, buddy.
All right,
okay.
So I heard that at least in Soviet Russia, the government would help a lot of young athletes that were amateurs, and so it was unlike this country where when you're a child and you're competing, it's only your family that helps you. But I heard in Russia, at least, the government would also help to support the young athletes. Was that the case in Armenia also, where the government would embrace you, or it's only your parents?
My time, Russian or Armenians are completely the same. It was called Soviet Union.
Right.
And you have to be the #1 guy in your country, so then the government take care of all the bills and all the trips and everything. And I always was #1. So basically, my parents never pay any money for me. Like they don't spend anything. Always the government take me everywhere.
That's awesome. Well, that must have been good. So then it wasn't a burden on your parents. And so should I assume your parents were very happy for you to continue in grappling, both your mother and your father, or were they not so happy?
Oh, they first of all, what happened is when I was outside and just fighting with the kids and stuff like that, some older guys that bring an older kid to fight me and stuff, they enjoying it. and then I was beating them up. They older than me, 4 or 5 years, 10 years old kid fighting the 5 years old kid.
Wow.
Then one guy see me, he likes me, and he said he's gonna take me to training. So that's what happens when they register and everything done. This guy is basically taking me all the time. When I was 7, the guy quit going, and I scared to tell my parents the guy's not there anymore.
Oh no.
If my parents knows the guy's not going, basically I'm not going either. So I was going by myself, and I was 7 years old. It takes me half an hour to change into transportation.
Wow.
To go training. And looking today, 7 years old, they scared to let him go bathroom by himself.
Right.
But I was going half an hour traveling approximately 15, 20 miles distance.
Wow.
And many years I go by myself. My parents didn't know because they was working.
Oh, wow.
And they also think this guy's taking me and this way, that way. So this much I was into the sport. And also when the winter comes up, and in Armenia it's very, very cold, you know.
Sure.
So if I put in my hot coat, my parents will think, hey, you're going with the car, so why you put in your coat? So I was putting a very light jacket. I was freezing on the bus stop, you know, and everybody thinking I don't have a coat.
Oh, no.
And I was freezing until the bus come or the, you know, whatever the transportation I'm going to use. So I tell this to my students how much I was into it, this sport.
Yes.
So I was going to training, and I train 2 or 3 training each days, and I do my homeworks there and everything like that. And I was finishing at 9:30 p.m. night.
Wow.
7 years old kid to change transportation, come home.
Man, that.
So that was my things when I started training.
That's amazing. That is a dedication and commitment that you almost never find nowadays. And I think for anyone watching, this is an example of why someone gets to be a champion, and how someone gets to be a champion and win and continue winning, and to be so successful. That kind of dedication at.
Yeah, your voice is gone. I tell you that again, something happened. You want me to wait until your voice comes back?
Okay, I think we got it back. I think we got it back. I don't know if I'm touching anything. Sorry about that, Gokor.
It's okay, buddy. Don't worry about it. Again, I wait for you to come back.
All right, Gokor, can you hear me? I'm
yes.
back. Excellent. Thank you so much. We just got a replacement battery, and we're going to be much better now. So what I was saying is that kind of dedication that you had at 7 years old, many people don't have at 15 years old or 20 or 25 years old, and that really, you know, explains how you've been so successful. Because everywhere you went, you won. Where you competed in Sambo, you competed in judo and wrestling, and then I saw on your Wikipedia page that at 17 years old you came to Los Angeles. Was this on your own or with your parents?
No, I come to America a year before and competed at the World Cup in judo in Colorado Spring, and took a first place in my weight division. And then I give a seminar to America. I give them a little seminar and the American national team. And then they give me a certification and here and there. So when I go back and I tell my parents, I say, I don't see a future here in Armenia. I just, maybe if I'm in America, maybe I see a little future there. And my family was ready to do whatever it's good for me, you know, and most of my cousins was already here living in Los Angeles.
Interesting.
So when we tried to come, and we went to the interview, and when I told them I was in America, I took the first place in the World Cup and also give a seminar in the national team, and they give me certification. They're very excited, and they kind of They said they're going to help me to go fast as possible. It takes 3 months for me to put my family all together to come to America.
Nice.
I was very lucky on that.
That's awesome. And that was 1980, the year, I think, right?
Yes, 1980.
That's amazing. And this is 13 years before the Ultimate Fighting Championship. But we know that you knew your catch wrestling, and Gene LeBell had been doing catch wrestling already at that time for probably 25 years. And so, how did you connect with
Gene here when I was here? You know?
Yeah, how did you meet Gene and become his top student and good friend and partner?
What happened is when I come to America, first of all, I went to the Colorado Spring, and I kind of like working over there, helping, teaching, and stuff like that. But 6 months I stayed there, and I get a little bored, and because there's nothing else to do over there.
That was like Olympic Training Center or something there, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, there was a Olympic Training Center. So then I come back to Los Angeles, and my parents are already kind of rent a house and stuff like that. I have 2 brothers there who find a job working, and you know I want to find a job myself to work, but also same time I want to train. I was a young boy, 17. Then I hear it in Los Angeles City College there is a place to train. So I went over there and I see there's a people training. I went to there, but it was no Gene LeBell. It was in the morning. But they're training judo, and I didn't speak English that time, and I couldn't explain myself what I want to do and everything. But the teacher recognized me because I won too many championships in my junior time. He recognized me, and then he invited me to train. And the next day I got my gi and I started training and stuff here. Then he told me, I belong to the national team, which at that time national team was East Los Angeles, Tenry Dojo. Mm-hmm. So all the national champion was there. So then I moved it there, started doing judo. But and then later they said there's a night class on the same place. That's what the first time when I come, I meet Gene. And then Gene tell me, do you fight without the gi? I told him, I said, I did Sambo. I was the world champion Sambo and world judo. And then also I was the national champion wrestling. So, and then he told me, well, can you fight without the gi? I said, of course, you know, I can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. So he lined up a lot of people, his Olympians and the black belts with the gi. So I beat like 30 guys over there, and I was only 17.
Wow.
I was beating all the adults.
Amazing.
And then after that, there's a guy, he's the world champion wrestler from Russia. And he said, can you fight him? I was only 60 kilograms, and that guy was 110 kilograms.
Wow, that's crazy. Double your size.
Big difference. So I fight him, I beat him, and then he didn't believe it. Small kids like this, they can beat him, and he asked me one more time, and the second time I beat him even faster.
Nice.
And then he gave up asking me, so everybody impressed, and Gene impressed. So since then, me and Gene, we come very good, close to each other. Then I was looking to make money, and Gene told me there is a places they do fights. He helped me. We walked together different places, find a competition like they're doing underground and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So first time I make $50. I beat somebody in less than 20 seconds.
Wow.
At that time, nobody knows what the grappling was, and the most guys, the karate, kickboxing, stuff like that.
Right.
I was grabbing people and taking down right away and finish them. And Gene was calling me, grab him. So the grappling basically worked. The grappling today is a very popular. It comes from me and Gene, and it comes from us before even jiu-jitsu was popular anywhere in the world. You know?
Yep, absolutely. You guys together had the catch wrestling that Gene had training with Karl Gotch, and you training in Armenia, and both of you were amazing. It was like you were the same amazing, skillful guy, just Gene, I think, was like 30 years older than you, but it was a perfect connection and friendship for the two of you. We have, Gokor, maybe like 10 minutes left to go, and there's so many questions I have to ask you, so let me ask We can go longer? Okay, we can go about 15 minutes more. Okay, I'm glad. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, I asked my producer. I'm glad. Okay, so what year did you guys open up Hayastan? Because I want to let everyone know Hayastan, Judo, Sambo, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of the most respected schools in Southern California. Ronda Rousey started there, Gokor Chivichyan, so many people with Gene LeBell and with Gokor Chivichyan, so many of the top fighters in the late 1990s, 2000s, and even now. Anytime they were in Los Angeles, will go to Hayastan. They say the reputation I think you have is that if you want to go somewhere and you have a bad attitude in the grappling, you can get a quick attitude adjustment in Hayastan, and you leave out the door and can lay in the hospital for 2 weeks.
You know, it's a little bit, people say too much about that, but I tell you, this is the real things. In the dojo, I opened up first time in 1986.
Oh, wow.
When I opened 1986, but I was competing at the same time.
Right.
So it's very difficult for me to teach and go compete. So then 2 years that I closed it down because I want to continue competing. I was an Olympian and I was this and that. There is lots of things about the judo, about the sambo, about the grappling, about the MMA. All the 80s was complete the best time, so I can compete and bring a lot of gold and stuff like that.
You were going all over Europe. You were traveling in Europe and Russia a lot in the 80s, even though you were living
I go compete at sambo, I compete at judo, compete no holds barred. That time there is no MMA. Whatever, I went to Japan, I do shuto, so everywhere. Whatever I can make money at the professionally, and also the local here, the underground and everything. So whatever, it's like a movie, you know.
Right.
And but the main things is 1991 I opened officially the Hayastan MMA Academy, and I was teaching. So between the teaching, there is a lot of things I can tell you about it, but I just want to make shorter. 17 years we was #1 in the whole United States in judo.
Nice.
And then when the jiu-jitsu comes up, and we offer the jiu-jitsu guys to compete, and then we got a lot of jiu-jitsu guys come and start competing in a judo tournament, and they was not doing very well. They're losing it. And then I go and I start competing jiu-jitsu tournaments. That time, but there's not too many rules like today.
Right.
It was not organized well like today, and everything was a little different that times. I meet a lot of Gracies, I meet a lot of Machado guys, I get lots of friendship I have, make it, and start training, mix up together, share the technique together, very good friendship and everything. And he helped me to develop a little bit what I know and what I can learn more, and I teach them a little bit what I know, and just we exchange it all day long.
Absolutely, and that was in 1993. Sorry if I interrupted you, Gokor, but I wanted to have
It's before 1993 when the
No,
US
right.
comes up.
For sure. No, I know you did all that in the 80s, but what I was meaning is that by the time the first UFC came out, 1993, you were 30 years old and you had already been competing for 25 years. So,
Yes,
right. So,
exactly.
yeah.
I was the one of the first guy in all this United States, or maybe all of the world, except that some country like in Brazil that people fight before.
Right.
But I was the first guy, basically brought everything to America. Leg locks, grappling,
Yep.
all the no-hold bar, everything, whatever was going on, I was in there. And nobody, today I don't see any of those guys in around.
Right.
But the people come after me approximately 7-8 years later.
Right, absolutely. You had been doing it in the 80s. And so by the time 1993 came around, you were mostly retired since you had been competing.
No, actually, I want to compete at UFC, but they tell me the hoist have to make a name out of it, and they didn't register me.
Right.
And they said they wait for another 3-4 years, then you can go after the hoist is done. And I have a lot of respect because we're good friends and everything. When before the hoist retired UFC, but 90% of the UFC fighters, they come and train with me, and when I was in Hollywood.
Right, right.
So I was teaching 90% guys, and if I entered the UFC, basically I'm going to fight the people I'm teaching.
Yes, yeah.
So that's the reason didn't happen. And if you remember Art Davis, and they specialize to come to my dojo, beg me, and ask me if come to fight in UFC. I say I will do it, but you have to find someone not training with me. You know,
It was hard.
How's that possible? He said there's no possible because
everyone's training with you.
Everybody training with you.
Yeah.
So I was teaching. Now I was teaching all the strikers. They come to me to learn grappling. Then the time when the grapplers get the problem, then they go start learning striking. So that's the time when it was developing the MMA. Not like today. Today is like a special sport MMA. People already doing MMA as a special sport.
Yeah.
But the time when I was doing, you remember karate goes against judo, judo against jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu against the boxing.
Right.
It was like that's the way it started.
Yeah, style versus style it used to be back then.
But it was good for me because I was making good money at that time and teaching all these people, and I make more money than they go fight and make it over there.
That's true. And I remember you were in many people's corner. I remember seeing you walking down the aisle. Mostly I remember your friend Oleg Takhtarov. You were with him. Who else were you in the corner of? Do you remember?
I cornered the Ken Shamrock. I cornered Frank Shamrock. I cornered Oleg Takhtarov. Beside those guys just alone from my studio, just alone, I give 23 fighters to UFC. And also I help Frank Shamrock many years. He trained in my academy. I give him classes. I give him private lesson.
Yes.
All kind of. I help a lot of people. They're good people.
Yeah.
And I help as much as possible. But from my studio, I give 23 fighters to UFC.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I don't see if any other school give more than 2.
No, it's true. That's like 90% of the fighters were coming out of the highest on academy.
Yes. And today too, my team is competing in Brazilian judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, judo, sambo, grappling, everything.
Absolutely.
So simple. We prepare people to compete anything they want to compete. My students are very knowledgeable of everything, gi, no gi. They learn all the rules of judo, sambo, jiu-jitsu. Just 2 weeks ago, we went to the World Championship in jiu-jitsu, and we brought 24 gold.
Wow.
Not the gold. 24 medals.
That's great. That's amazing still.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, your school is amazing. And earlier, I didn't want to imply that you go to Hayastan and you get beat up. I meant if you have a bad attitude and you think you're going to go there, then you quickly learn the good attitude. But you get great training. That's the one thing, is that they have so many good guys, serious guys, highly skilled guys.
Yeah, I got a lot of good guys, but I tell you something, a lot of people come to my dojo, they kind of a little nervous because of the reputation.
Right.
They're going to beat them up, and there's nothing like that. It's actually, when they come, they tell me, hey, Gokor, this is what the people telling you, go Gokor's place, and they're going to beat up. No, actually completely opposite.
Right.
They come here, they train, and they can't believe it how respectful my students are. And even my toughest students are there. They act like beginners. They don't hurt the people. And people, only time when we get a little bit more aggressive, the people have the attitude.
Yes.
Come and they're trying to show them how tough they are. They want to beat someone, and they challenge someone, then we give them attitude adjustment.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I meant, ladies and gentlemen who are watching. I didn't want to perpetrate that reputation because, like you said, for some reason, people are trying to think that they weren't respectful. Always respectful. If you go to the gym, you're a regular guy, you're a nice guy, you're a respectful guy, you can have a great workout. No one hurts you. No one treats you bad ever. But like they said, the people that would go there to try to hurt the students, or to try to show how tough they are and to disrespect, there are many talented, skillful guys that can stop those guys from doing that, is what that is.
I got a lot of schools. I got 110 affiliation schools all over the world.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
People are coming from everywhere in Europe and every world, and they come and train here all the time. They like, when they come here, they feel like they're home.
Yep.
And, that's the way we treat them, everybody. And then also, I give a lots of seminars. Every week, like at least 2 seminars. I travel all over the United States, travel to Europe. I do European tour all the time, and people like to train with me because I can teach them a gi, I can teach them no gi, I can give them a lot of judo moves, the sambo moves, a lot of leg locks. But people think Pakistan MMA are good in leg locks. Yes, we are good in leg locks, but we are good at everything else too.
Yep.
The reason why we use a lot of leg locks because other people don't know nothing about it.
Right.
So we always look in other people's weakness.
Yes.
But now it looks like if you see all the professional fights, grappling fights, everything, it's ending 95% leg locks, which is I was telling 35 years ago they didn't want to do it. And today, everybody loves it.
Absolutely, you're right. They have the guy in New Jersey, the John Danaher, the Renzo Gracie student, who has a lot of attention from a lot of guys. But in reality, for you guys watching, Gokor is the more senior master than John Danaher. Not to put down John Danaher, and I'm sure Gokor wouldn't say that, but if you want to see at least equal with more years of experience in leg locks and everything else, Gokor Chivichyan is the man. This is really a place to go. There's amazing guys there. I think you have 2 of your sons now training in at Hayastan in North Hollywood. Am I right?
Yeah, my older son, Arthur Chivichyan, it's actually one of the coach over here. He's also teaching at USC University. He's a professor over there.
Excellent.
Yeah, and my younger one actually trained up to blue belt. Now he's a basketball player. Next year he's coming professional. So he likes the basketball more than the fighting. So there's nothing I can do. I teach him how to fight, to self-defense.
Yep.
But now he's one of the best player right now, and hopefully he will do good on his future.
I'm sure he will with the athletic background that you have, and you're still winning. You just recently competed in the over 50 or 56 years old, and you won the gold medal recently. So you're still doing it. It's amazing, man.
The reason I did because I win a judo world, I win a sambo world, I win a MMA world, I win a grappling world. I never compete at jiu-jitsu world, and I want to have that titles also on my resume. So, and then I did. This year I get 4 gold medal of jiu-jitsu and 1 Pan America. I didn't give no point to anybody. I win everybody. I win all the best fighters there up to that 50 and up. And 9-time world champion, 8-time world champion. I have no problem with them. I play with them without any problem. And I kind of follow their rules, and I was trying not to do anything fancy because if I do something fancy and maybe they EQ me, I mean they can kick me out.
Right, disqualify you, yeah. If they, yeah.
So I try to be nice and follow the rules and follow it. I basically losing 50% of my what I know, my techniques I cannot use there. Right. But I follow their own rules, and I come a world champion on their own game.
Absolutely.
So now I'm the only guy in all the world.
Right.
I have a 5 world champion holding of everything. I don't think so anybody else in the universe have 5 champions from different arts.
Absolutely. Wikipedia points that out. To be a champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in Sambo, in Judo, in wrestling, and I think catch wrestling, anything, all combined, that there is nobody else that has won at the highest level in all of the grappling arts than this man, Gokor Chivichyan. So absolutely amazing. Gokor, I think we've got only about 3 minutes left. So I'd like to say, when you trained with Ronda Rousey, she was undefeated. She was an amazing fighter. You had Garo Parisian, Manny Gamburian, so many great people. Can you give me, in maybe a minute or so, your thoughts about MMA? What do you think is good about MMA now, and what do you think can be improved? Maybe only 1 minute or so, if you can, or 2 minutes.
Well, I'll be honest with you. MMA is doing very well today. UFC doing, the Bellator they're doing a very good job. There's a lot of other tournaments and people. I see too many people really want to fight and stuff like that. So I think people love it. That finally they found that this is the sport, is a real sport to fight. Like the rest of the other sport, like most of, not the Olympian sports, the rest sports for fun, but the MMA is for real fighting. Some people say I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I go into fight. Jiu-jitsu is not a fight, or judo is not a fight, sambo is not a fight. They are sport. But when you say fight, and that's what the MMA is, you fighting.
Absolutely.
So he's doing a good job.
Absolutely. One last quick thing. Gene LeBell told me to ask you, can you give any tip about what the dark side of the moon technique is? If you have to use this, if someone is fighting crazy with you, anything that you can tell us, or it has to stay a secret?
You know, Gene LeBell told me not to tell anybody that. I understand why he's telling you to tell me.
Yes.
The dark side of the moon is our secret. Well, if we don't beat somebody the way we're supposed to beat them, we use the dark side of the moon, the secret, and that's what we break people's neck and our shoulder and arms and legs and take it with us home. You know, that's
I like it. And those secrets can be found if you go to study at one of the highest on schools around the world, right?
Yes, there is around the world. You can check the Gokor.com, and there was you can find affiliate schools in all over the world. If you live close by, go check it out. Trust me, you're gonna enjoy the highest on system. It's one of the best systems right now in the world. Every time I give a seminar, everybody can wait to when the next time I'm going to be there. So I like all the sports, jiu-jitsu, judo, sambo, but highest system is combination.
Absolutely. It's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. You can become probably the most complete grappler in the world if you go to one of the highest on schools. There's no better place. Gokor Chivichyan, I want to thank you so much, my friend. It's been an absolute honor to have you on the show, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us here to chat.
Thank you so much. Now I'm going to go back to training.
Absolutely. Thank you again, my friend. Have a great night.
Thank you.